All right, guys. I just realized I was 15 minutes late. I thought I scheduled it for 7:30 market time, but I guess it was 6:30 or 6:15. GameStop honestly is running up right now. Nvidia's down in pre-market. GameStop is up, but I guess it was 6:30 or 6:15. GameStop honestly is GameStop up to almost $30 a share here. Almost $30 a share. We've got the Nasdaq at 20.5K. So the Nasdaq is, let me see where we're at this morning. But yeah, mortgage data came out mostly flat. We got durable good orders in about an hour, give or take. Oh man. All right. I see some reports about like recessions. So I saw one article that said stock futures were flat after the S&P closed higher. Consumer confidence tumbled for March for a fourth consecutive month because of inflation fears and the impact of tariffs. Let me get some sound going here. Hold on. Yeah, it said economic surveys for March have been notably bad. Philly Fed index fell to its lowest level since early 2020. Major U.S. airlines warned of slowdowns in travel. Consumer confidence was down. The Conference Board's expectation index slumped to a 12-year low at 65.2, which it noted was, quote, well below the threshold of 80 that usually signals a recession ahead. The index is based on consumers' outlook for income, business, and labor market conditions. At the same time, though, they're saying most of the weakest economic data is in the form of surveys reflecting confidence or expectations rather than hard actual evidence and metrics. The current president's tariffs are obviously affecting sentiment, and, but a recession is only likely if that persists and translates into prolonged pullbacks in spending by consumers and businesses. So we're not quite there yet, a lot of analysts are thinking, but there's still time, and, the narrative could change from now to then. U.S. economy is typically resilient. Stock markets in Asia and Europe are performing pretty well this year. And then, again, we're heading into April 2nd, Judgment Day. So, let's see what that looks like. GameStop spiking up to almost $30 a share. Yeah, so GameStop running. We'll see if this holds. But look at GameStop. GameStop almost up to $30 a share. Nvidia is actually breaking down this morning, though. Look at this. Nvidia all the way down to 118s. So GameStop running, Nvidia breaking down. The Nasdaq is mostly flat. And we got durable good orders in about an hour. Durable good orders expected at minus 1.1%. Again, we did have mortgage rates, which mostly were left unchanged. So mortgage rates, typically we get the 30-year rate every Wednesday. It was unchanged. It didn't really move at all. So I'm looking at other data too. We had we had British CPI come out lower than expected everywhere. 0.4% month to month, 2.8% year to year for, again, British CPI. Bank of England CPI. NBA 30-year mortgage rate came in at 6.71%. 6.71%. And then we have durable good orders coming out. Chewy stock rose today after the pet producer retailer reported fourth quarter earnings and sales that beat analyst expectations. Is it up? Yeah, so Chewy is up. Posted adjusted earnings of 28 cents a share for the quarter ending in February 2nd, beating Wall Street calls for 21 cents. Net sales 3.3 bill, topped the 3.2 billion analysts anticipated, according to FactSet. CEO Sumit Singh noted that the top line growth and profitability exceeded the high end of the company's guidance range for both the fourth quarter and fiscal year. Our performance, and he said, quote, our performance was underpinned by strong active customer growth and compelling auto ship customer loyalty, end quote. So Chewy is up a little bit today as well with GameStop. We got durable good orders at 8:30 in about an hour. We'll put a timer up for that, but yeah, GameStop could turn into like MicroStrategy if they continue this push. All right. Yeah. What's up, Beach? Hey, good morning. Let's do a poll. All right, so does the market close red or green today ahead of GDP tomorrow and PCE data Friday? Bad news? Too dramatic of music? Maybe. Yeah, I'm looking at some other news, see if we can find anything. Yeah, GameStop, Boeing, Tesla, Dollar Tree. Tesla up again, looks like. Yeah, Tesla up to 285s right now. Look at Tesla. So here's Tesla on the right. 285s. GameStop up, Chewy up. Palantir up. Palantir at 97s almost, 96 and a halves. Tesla up to 285s. So still, actually, Tesla's red on the day. Tesla just had a really green few days, but Tesla's actually red. So this is the move Tesla has made recently from 222s all the way up to 285s. So Tesla has made a push. We'll see if that continues. Again, Nvidia, but it's actually technically down a little bit. Here's where it closed yesterday. It's down to about there. Let me make a... Yeah. So Tesla has fallen about right here in pre-market. GameStop green. Here's the previous closing price down there, so it's still green. Nvidia very Nvidia very red overnight. Here's the previous closing price way up here. It's way down here at 119s. So that's where Nvidia closed. Chewy had earnings. They're reacting positively to anything else. What's up, Fabio, Ryan, C. Harris, Healing Pain, Beach Bum, Smart, Chase, BT, Trailer, Paul, Messi, By My Side, or My Side of the System, Luca, T, Ed, Bar, Crypto, Bullish, Francisco, G-Man, Bassetti, DJ, Molecular, Coffee, Pawn, Ray, Ka, Jason, Curtis, Faye, George. Yeah, look at Palantir run. Palantir's going up a little bit this morning as well. Here's PLTR. It's up to 96.70s. Just went green on the day, so Palantir's up a little bit. GameStop, that $30 level is a big level for GameStop. We'll see if it holds. Christopher. Do you think Meta does a split? I think it's possible. I think usually when companies get close to $1,000 a share, unless you're like Burke or something like that, generally as companies get close to that, I think they'll do a split. I think Netflix will do a split sometime soon too. Netflix is almost $1,000 a share. I think they're gonna split sometime soon. Sometime this year, probably. Gold at 30.35. So gold's still flat. It's been flat since last Friday, basically. Hasn't really gone anywhere for gold. Kind of an easy range to attack, though, on a 15-minute chart. Yeah, give me a follow on X if you want. Whew. All right, so U.S. stock futures declined today. Investors exhibit caution ahead of economic data and await the tariff day on April 2nd. GameStop up almost 20% after announcing plans to adopt Bitcoin as a reserve asset. If we look at Bitcoin up to 88,000, slightly green on the day. Originally reacted pretty positively to it, but then kind of dipped overnight. It's back up a little bit this morning. We got TTAM, we got CTAS. Investors are still on edge after tariffs set to be announced on April 2nd. Impact of global economy continues to be a focal point for markets. People are nervous about the tariff date on April 2nd. That's going to be a big day. Honestly, that's going to be a big day. I'm ready to stream it. This will be next Tuesday. I believe it's next Tuesday. Yeah. No, it's next Wednesday. So this is exactly a week from now. We're a week out from tariff implementation. Today we got durable goods. We got steel products and more. So yeah, we're gonna make this post on X. All right, guys. So let's see what GameStop does. So GameStop adopting Bitcoin as a reserve asset. If we look at GameStop, though, so yeah, they're adding Bitcoin is added to their treasury reserves. They went crypto. So they expected what, like 8 cents per share? They ended up showing 30 cents a share. Wildly beat estimates. Sales came in lower, though. So sales came in at 1.283 billion versus 1.5 roughly billion estimate. I'll put the numbers up in chat. These were GameStop's numbers yesterday. I don't know. I think it's really hard to tell what we get here. There's GameStop's numbers. They beat EPS really well, which is margins, right? EPS is margins. Revenue is kind of like the ceiling of profit they have. Yeah, somebody's asking me what happens before April 2nd. I really don't know. I think anything could happen, to be honest. I think that it could honestly go either way. People could look at April 2nd like it's a... I think honestly, I think we can negatively react to it. Obviously, it's tariff day. It's a lot of people are fearful of it, and they're not really liking tariff. Tariff news has kind of impacted markets wildly over the last 2 months, and so tariff news has been on the forefront of everybody's kind of finance thesis and sentiments. But I think it could also go the other way. I think if April 2nd comes out or happens and he is much looser, much less strict, much more working with these different countries, and it's not nearly as bad as people think, I think we could obviously get a bull reaction to all this stuff too. So I think you got to just be careful and understand there's variance that happens as closer we get to April 2nd. I also think we have a lot of stuff going on. So I think next week is very busy as well, not just for, like we have April 2nd. Next week we got Chicago PMI Monday. I'm also pretty sure that Monday or Tuesday we get Tesla delivery numbers. So Tesla deliveries come out next week. We got Chicago PMI. We got the JOLTS job report. We got ISM manufacturing PMI data. We've got April 2nd, as well as on April 2nd, we got non-farm data coming out. We've got factory orders. On Thursday, we have jobless claims, trade deficit data, and services, which are all very relevant in the landscape of everything going on with tariffs and stuff like that. Friday, we've got non-farm payrolls and unemployment data next week. So it's a lot of stuff. And we're going to stream it like we always do, but it's a lot of stuff. All right, so the Dollar Tree is up after a $1 billion Family Dollar sale to private equity. They surged almost 7% in pre-market after the discount retailer reached a deal to sell its Family Dollar brand to a pair of private equity firms for $1 billion. Yeah. All right, Palantir up, like I said this morning. We will be trading a little bit early today. We did do our X post, guys. So we did do our X post here. If you want to give us a follow on X, here's the link. Great way to help support your boy here on this channel. We appreciate it. We do a daily news post where we update everything that happened overnight and in the last few hours in markets. There it is right there. If you want to check it out, hit the heart button, give it a follow. Yeah, I also posted it to our Discord as well here. So you can find this either on our Discord or on X. Yeah, GameStop flying up. Is AMC following up in sympathy? What about KOSS, KOSS? Real ones know why. AMC's up a little bit. KOSS is up a little bit too. Too bad Best Buy, or what was it? Nokia might be as well. Let's see. No, Nokia's not up. What was it? What was the other company that it's now out of business? It was like the value company. Nobody was ever in it. I used to go in there. It's Squeeze Crazy. What was the home decorating store nobody was ever in? My wife used to drag me in there. It had a crazy squeeze, kind of with GameStop. Now I think it went bankrupt. What was that company? Anybody know? Somebody hit me with it. Bed Bath and Beyond. It was BBBY. Now it's BBBYQ. But yeah, it was BBBY is what it was. That's what it was. Yeah. Nokia actually makes decent routing and switching hardware now. Yeah. Interesting. My wife always forced me in there. Nobody was ever in there. It was kind of a nice store. The problem is it was expensive, right? Like the problem is that they were too desperate to make money, in my opinion. And so there was no value when you go in there. Like I would go in there, bro, and like sometimes I'd get talked into like buying pillows. You know, I'd go in there and buy pillows and all this other stuff. But it was too expensive. Like I remember going in there and like they got basic things. Like they got a pair of flip-flops. It's like $30. It's like, dude, I'm not paying $30 for a pair of flip-flops. You know, get out of here. They were just a little bit too expensive. And so nobody ever went. Most people order all that stuff on Amazon now anyway. And so nobody ever really bought from them. And they ultimately failed, of course. Hey, explain Wall Street's numbers. They predicted revenue of 1.4 billion, and they missed that revenue big. They should have been 1.25, 1.28 billion, so they missed that revenue expectation. So they beat EPS by a really large margin. They expected 8 cents per share profit. They showed 30 cents, and that's good, honestly, because GameStop needs to profit. I think GameStop needs profit more than it needs revenue, right? GameStop needs to be a profitable company if it's going to stick around. And so, you know, the last 2 quarters in GameStop were profitable, and now we've got 30 cents a share. That's pretty good. That's pretty good for GameStop. I'm rooting for it. I hope it does well. We'll see if it actually does, but I hope it does, you know. All right, 64% of people think the market closes green ahead of GDP and PCE tomorrow. GameStop is closing unprofitable stores, so revenue will go down. That's good. Yeah, man. I think honestly, if we're being honest, I think GameStop needs to close a lot of stores. Let's just be real here. And I get it. Like in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, they expanded at a rapid pace, and so they've got a lot of stores out there that they frankly just don't freaking need. They just don't need those stores anymore. They don't have the foot traffic to justify those stores. They're certainly not making money, a majority of them. And so they need to close a lot of their stores, maybe do one per city, maybe, instead of having one every other corner like they've been for the last 20 years. That's just not going to work anymore. People don't buy physical video games like that anymore. I'm not saying they don't have their niche. What I'm saying is that they need to do some things to influence profitability. And I think closing stores is obviously a good move if that's what they're doing. And, you know, I know they're selling, like, Pokemon cards, and they're buying up Pokemon cards and stuff like that. And I think that's a good move, too. I think turning themselves into kind of like a mini collectibles / game store makes sense. Maybe opening up, like, a gaming... maybe opening up, like, a card arena. You know, I've seen some card stores, like, here in Texas. You go there, they're collectible stores. They sell comics. They sell... like niche toys. They sell cards, like all different types of cards, like magic cards, Pokemon cards. They sell rare ones. They sell graded cards. They sell card packs, and then they have an arena that you can go play. And then they offer different events that they do. They do different events. So they do Pokemon card tournaments and magic card tournaments. And I don't really even know how to play any of that stuff, to be completely honest. But I think that's probably a good move because there are a lot of people that still get really into that stuff. They need to close stores. The ones they do keep open need to be high traffic stores that they can then pivot to that. I think that makes sense. You know, and hopefully that's what they're doing. I don't think they're really pivoting in that big of a way, but still. VIX is so low. Well, yeah, I mean, the market hasn't been red. Not super red lately. The VIX has been going down since the pumps ended. You know, if we look at the Nasdaq here, Nasdaq's up today, or it's up in the last few minutes, and it's not super red either. Like, if we put a 30-minute chart up, the Nasdaq's been pretty green since the 14th. So for the last 10 days, the Nasdaq's honestly been pumping back up here. So the VIX is going to be falling down since the 10th or so, right? If we look at the VIX, yeah, VIX has fallen down since the 10th. So that's not too unpredictable. Like the VIX, here's the 10th, VIX is falling down. You got to understand the VIX goes up when the market has volatility and goes down, right? So if the market's weak, the VIX is green. The VIX is moving up. If the market is green, the VIX is moving down. And so the market's been bouncing back since about the 10th of March, and the VIX has been moving down since the 10th of March. That's the correlation. No, GameStop is up because of adding Bitcoin to their treasury reserves, and that's a huge move for them. I'm for it. I hope Bitcoin turns into a little micro strategy. Let them do it, man. I'm for it. Yeah, so GameStop up 14%. They plan to add Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. The move wasn't a surprise. Recent speculation. GameStop reported fourth quarter earnings of 29 cents a share on net sales of 1.28 billion, compared with 21 cents a share on sales of 1.79 billion year over year. Boeing down 0.3%. Federal judge ordered the airplane maker to go to trial in June in a criminal case related to the 737 crashes in 2018 and 2019. Wall Street Journal reported Boeing sought to withdraw an early agreement to plead guilty in the case that blamed it for deceiving regulators before the two crashes. Tesla down a little bit today after they went up for 5 straight days, even as sales in Europe slumped. Next catalyst will be first quarter deliveries expected around April 2nd. So again, deliveries are expected April 2nd. Tariff day is April 2nd. The day before that, we've got the JOLTS report as well. So we got JOLTS report April 1st, Tesla deliveries and tariff day April 2nd. Non-farm employment data to that day, as well as, we just got a whole bunch of stuff next week. Next week should be fun. Yeah, I mean, here's the SPY. SPY is slightly green, although it's kind of flat, but slightly green. Again, mortgage rates came out today. UK public inflation expectations for March for the year ahead rise to 4% from 3.9%. Expectations for longer term rise to 4.2% in March from February was at 3.9% for future projections. I don't know. I don't know what we get on April 2nd. I really don't. I genuinely have no freaking idea what we get April 2nd. I think it could go either way. I think if we come out really strict and restrictive in tariffs, market might go down. I think if we come out loose and pivot back, like backstep a little bit and not really go super heavy into tariff push, then we might go up, right? I think essentially, I think there's a chance that the tariff fears are overblown. But I certainly don't think it's a certainty. And I definitely could be wrong. But I think the tariff news could be overblown, is what I'm saying. Like, I've seen Trump backtrack a little bit recently in tariffs. I've seen him kind of, he's not as forceful with his words regarding tariffs as he has been. And so I think he didn't like the reaction that he got from it, and now he's kind of backstepping a little bit, trying to be less restrictive, if that makes sense. So I think there's a chance that it might be less restrictive. than expected. If that's the case, we might rally. It's also a chance that people freak out. April 2nd, big money, move some money around. Yeah, so he's implementing the reciprocal tariffs, but I hope it's not as bad. He is slowing down the pressure. Yeah, I've seen that. So he's definitely been a lot less pressuring for the tariffs. I don't think he liked the reaction we got. So. We have durable good orders in about 30 minutes. Durable goods. So yeah, we got durable goods. Yes, we got durable good orders. Yeah, durable goods. The EU Commission spokesperson says withdrawal of military from overseas would be one of the main preconditions to lift sanctions. Anything else going on right now? So they say Morgan Stanley is getting more bullish on overseas Chinese stocks. They lifted their year-end target of Hang Seng and other key Chinese stock market indices by 8 and 9%. Their reasoning is that earnings from the fourth quarter are going to beat expectations for the first time in 13 quarters. They said, quote, aggressive cuts to estimates, diligent corporate self-help efforts, and acceleration of tech and AI-related investments and adoption have all contributed to this change. Strategist Laura Wang, chief equity strategist, her team says that valuation should improve right now. Those stocks are trading on a discount. We'll see. GameStop is up because of earnings yesterday. So GameStop had earnings yesterday. It came in better than expected for EPS. Missed revenue, but they are adding Bitcoin to their reserve. And so that is why they're pumping up. Yep. What are you guys watching today? Anything you guys are watching or trading? Are you guys trading this morning? Are y'all red or green? How are you guys doing today? Let me know. All right, chat. What else we got? GameStop at $29.50, still testing $30 here, and I almost want to buy it right here because I think $30 is a probable test. When we get so close to 30 and don't tap it, I think it's going to make a retest of it sometime today. I might be wildly wrong. Don't copy me. I'm not an investment professional. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. Certainly do not copy me. I'm not an investment professional. And so, yeah, I understand all this stuff on screen. So, Micron has reportedly informed its customers about upcoming price increases, according to TrendForce, citing a Micron letter adds Micron's HBM sold out for 2025 and demand soars into next year. And again, we've been posting a lot of these news stories on our X page. Starboard delivers letter to Autodesk shareholders believing the company's misleading response regarding TSR performance and investor day targets underscores the need for change and improve accountability on the board. We also had some Imperial Brands news. Let me check back up. So I asked people how they're doing today. They said MicroStrategy. Do you think Tesla deliveries will be good? I really don't know. In the red 450. I'm watching this S&P, Tesla up 1,400, Nvidia red 300. I'm red, took a short at 5 a.m. that turned on me. Up 3,200. I'm full on gold since it's ranging like that. Not trading today. Vaguely interested to see the UK budget announcement later. Fabio says I'm green. Any long candlesticks in pre-market? Hey, nice family. No positions yet. Lost on Monday going short. 300% on GameStop, 25 call options. QQQ price target 505. Go Amazon. Already up 0.5%. Hey, that's all good. Good job, guys. I haven't traded, obviously. We're just kind of sitting tight here waiting. Plus 100% Palantir swing trading. Hey, good job. Why is Nvidia down? All right, so Microsoft. Yeah, I'm trying to look to see why Nvidia might be down. I see Taiwan Semiconductors. They say their U.S. chips might not be that expensive, which is bad for Intel, according to Barron's. Okay, so basically what I'm showing right now for Nvidia is that Nvidia is edging down. Potential stricter regulations on chips in China could be affecting the stock, right? So the drift in stock comes after people are questioning the return on investment for companies buying Nvidia chips. Alibaba chairman Joe Tsai said he was, quote, astounded by U.S. tech companies' AI spending and infrastructure yesterday at the HSBC Global Investment Summit in Hong Kong, and he also questioned whether they need to spend that much on AI centers, billions on AI centers. He said there's concerns about Nvidia's business overseas in China, regulatory, landscape there has been discouraging the country's large technology companies from purchasing Nvidia's H20 chips, specifically designed to satisfy U.S. sanctions on exports. The rules haven't been strictly enforced and aren't yet affecting H2O chips, but the company is seeking to arrange a meeting with regulators there and prepping to make adjustments. But yeah, Nvidia didn't immediately respond for requests by Barron's. Other chip stocks, AMD down, Broadcom up a little bit, but that's the reason why. Basically, potentially stricter aspects of sales overseas, and that's what's been dragging Nvidia down this morning. up, Prime? Lost $2 on lottery. Have you tried any AI video generation tool? No, but I've really thought about. Trying out Sora, but I just haven't yet. Yeah, I've really thought about Sora, but just haven't yet. Yeah, there's some cool AI tools. I'm definitely using AI editors. So we got some videos coming out. I'm definitely using AI editors, but not. I'm not using AI video generation ones. I'm more so using like, like it basically edits the video for me. I still produce the video. It edits the video for me. Is basically what I'm using, which works really well. Honestly, the AI editing tools are really useful now. Yeah, I get Nasdaq at 2050s or 2450s, 475s. They say we're still about 5 years ahead of overseas markets in terms of AI, according to Constellation's Ray Wang. He's a research founder and chairman. Yeah, I don't mind editing. I hate editing in terms of like, I hate editing, I hate chopping out all the freaking pauses and dumb stuff like that. That's what I dislike. I don't like that at all. Yeah, so the secured overnight financing rate showed up at 4.33% from March 25th versus 4.31% March 24th. Just a heads up there. Yeah, so I'm looking into some other stuff too, but all right, so yeah, micro price increases coming on soon. Micron, MU, I mean, price increases. GameStop pulling back a little bit. I'm really tempted to buy here. Yeah, just to put this into perspective, like the secured overnight financing rate, SOFR, is used to gauge the cost of borrowing, but what it really does is it shows what banks are fearful of. Like if the SOFR suddenly spikes up, it means there's less liquidity and banks potentially are nervous. If it's stable, it means the system's running smoothly. Obviously, if it's high, it means borrowing costs are a little bit more expensive. If it's low, it means cheaper to borrow. Kind of look at interest rate sentiment, but it's a market-based rate versus the Fed funds rate, which isn't collateral. They're usually similar, though. Like you can see the SOFR is currently right now 4.33%, which is similar to what the Fed funds is. Hope that makes sense. Anyways. Is Robinhood doing really well? We're at 48.30s. 48.30s. So Robinhood honestly has had one of the best 12 months, man. I remember this thing being at $12, $15, and I thought it would go up, but man, I should have bought it. A little hindsight. UPS. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to bet on UPS. It really is. It's hard for me to bet on UPS. It's hard for me to bet on FedEx. With Amazon doing what they're doing. I know we'll always need UPS, but like a large chunk of their business is going. And if we look at UPS on the year, it's down significantly too. So like, I don't know. Like I think, yeah, I just think there's risks with UPS. I think like, I think it's, I think UPS, FedEx are going to lose huge chunks of business from Amazon like they have been. There's a reason they're down so massively. If we look at like UPS here, here's UPS on the left side. Here's a weekly chart. They've been downtrending since 2021. And I don't think this is a shock. It's really hard for me to buy into these because I think the downtrend is somewhat justifiable. I think if we look at FedEx, it's been downtrending since August of last year, although the trend is a little bit better. FedEx was always known to be a little bit more premium heavy and expensive, but a little bit more niched out versus like UPS. But for me, I'm just not interested in buying these. Just based off of the argument against some of these relative to Amazon. Yeah, we got durable good orders in 15 minutes. We got durable goods in 15 minutes. We got Kashkari speaking at 10. Alberto speaking at 110, but none of them are really. I think today will be choppy. I really do. I think we got GDP data tomorrow, PCE data Friday. I think today might be choppy. All right, guys. So, is Tesla back? Is what a story I'm looking at right now. Is Tesla back? I see, obviously there's been rumors of people like attacking Teslas. Do y'all think that sentiment is going to change? Do you think it's going to swing back? Looking at Tesla here. Tesla actually down a little bit in pre-market. It's been rising the last few days, so it's been on a 5-day green streak. Kind of following the market, though. I think if we look at the market here, like here's Tesla. If we put up like the Nasdaq, it's kind of doing a similar thing. We'll put a 1 hour chart up to mirror this. And yeah, so Tesla doing a similar thing, holding support at 3 on March 10th, rebounding back up since then. So doing a very similar thing to the Nasdaq. Amazon delivers. Yeah. Durable goods. Yeah, I don't know if durable goods are going to move the market at all. We'll see. We'll see. I'm waiting for them. Do you have any rule against adding into trades lately? Look, I'm going to be trading on Topstep's new dashboard today too. But like if I'm trading, look, here's the new dashboard. If I'm trading on here, I'm going to buy this dip actually. If the plan is to add to the position when I enter the trade, I'll add to it. If that's not the plan the whole time, I won't touch it, you know. So I'm gonna cut this. I think I was just wrong. We lost like $7, so it's very small. But if that's not the plan, if the plan is not to add to it when I first enter the trade, I don't ever add to a position outside of that. So like I'm not going to keep adding to a losing trade. I've gotten myself in too much trouble that way, to be honest. But every trader's different, and people tend to trade differently. For me, it's just rule based. I typically do better adding to winners versus losers, and I think it's better to add to winners versus losers. If that makes sense. Yeah, so we got out basically flat in this trade. We didn't lose barely anything. And it looks like it was a good exit. Look at GameStop turn all the way back down, though. So GameStop all the way back down to 28.50s. GameStop's still not doing earnings calls, huh? See, I'm tempted to buy this back here. But I'll wait. We got durable good orders in 9 minutes here. 9 minutes. Yeah, winning trades is okay. I think adding to winning trades is better. You know, I think everybody's different, but I think adding to winning trades is much more understandable. All right, guys, so we're gonna try to add back to this before it just turns on me here. Yeah, it's not looking that great. But I think adding to winning trades is fine. The range is so small right now. Now that we're under this. So we're down like 26 bucks. We could short it down to this 450 level, but I think I'm just going to wait now. I'm trying to take a more active approach here. I'm green in every one of these accounts, but I don't want to give too much back in this account specifically today. Durable goods, it probably won't move markets very much. I'll put a timer up just because we got 8 minutes left, but it probably won't move markets. I don't think it will. We'll see. All right, so here's a timer. I hope it does. All right, I hope it moves markets and influences things, but we'll see. So you prefer to add higher than your last add? I prefer to add to winning positions to have a little bit of cushion into what I'm getting into. And so if I'm going to take large size, I think it makes a lot more sense to take small size originally and then once you get like deeper into cushion, you can add to that size, take larger risks in the trade without worrying about a big drawdown. And I think that is a much better psychological situation for trading versus like continuing to add to losing positions and, yeah. And so I hope that makes sense, right? Like continuing adding to losing positions, you can get yourself in trouble just because, it might work a majority of the time. Like say I took this trade, right? And instead of cutting it like I did, I kept adding down here. I added here, and I added here, and I added here, right? It's probably going to bounce back a little bit. I could probably make money doing that. Most of the time, a majority of the time even, I could probably make money doing it. And that's all good and fine, aside from the times that it keeps going like this, right? And so you might make money, lose huge amounts doing it that way. And that's the risk of doing it. It's like you might make money, lose your whole account. And so it's a situation that is very like misleading for traders, in which it kind of tricks them into thinking that it works. And a lot of the time you can just get yourself in big trouble doing so. Powell tomorrow. No, I don't think so. Let me see. I don't think so, though. No. I don't see Powell for the rest of this month. Yeah, I don't see Powell for the rest of this month. And maybe durable goods will move stuff. Man, I'm excited. We'll see. Dollar Tree exec says impact from additional March tariffs on China, Canada, and Mexico about 20 million per month, not reflected in outlook. Right, you don't want big risks, which happens if you add to losers. You want low risk, which happens when you add to winners. Exactly. That's a better way to put it. Thank you, V. I appreciate it. Yeah, but everybody's different. Some people are gonna get away with it. Like I can't really judge anybody else's trading. Like, you know how like you'll take trades. Y'all might not understand, but you take trades and people would just be like, "Oh gosh, bro, that's the worst trade ever." It's not just me. Like, it happens to all traders, regardless of who it is, how good the trade is, what the trade is. You just get just weird people that act weird regardless of whether it's a good trade or not. But you can't really knock anybody else's trade because everybody trades differently. People have different personalities. And so while I might do better taking very short-term trades where I'm skeptical of reversals and I'm trying to get in and out and take advantage of high accuracy, other people might sit on a day trade for 2 hours and take advantage of a 50% accuracy with like a really, really good reward to risk ratio or something like that, right? Everybody's different. People have different strategies that are suited towards their personalities over everything else. And so some people are going to make things that I can't do work, right? And I might be able to make things that other people can't do work. And so it just depends on the person. Yeah, durable good orders. We got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left. Yeah, I mean, durable goods, yeah, they say it's high impactful, but we'll see. It might move markets a little bit, but is it going to be a big reaction like PCE data on Friday? Probably not. All right, guys, 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I will add to a winning trade up to a point, but it depends on the risk, right? Like, generally speaking, I will try to add to winning trades once I'm deep enough in a cushion of profit to try to hold the rest break even. So I can add to a winner, hold the rest break even. If it turns on me, I'm okay. If it goes in my favor, it's good. And so it's yeah. Yeah, I mean, averaging in makes sense. Gift, it depends, man. Some people can make it work. It depends on it depends on how you're doing it. It really does. All right, guys, we got a minute and a half left. Okay, guys, so Barclays just cut the S&P 500's 2025 year-end index target to 5,900 from 6,600, guys. How bad is this news here? Let's see if this negatively impacts the markets, but look at that. Interesting. All right, less than a minute here, chat. Honestly, the Nasdaq didn't move much at all. Go away, bro. I hate Windows 11, dude. I hate it. I genuinely hate it. All right, guys. Hey, we got 40 seconds left. 40 seconds. All right, chat. Here we go. 40 seconds. Durable goods are expected at minus 1.1%. Minus 1.1% for durable goods. We got 10 seconds. 10 seconds. We'll see what we show here, chat. 10 seconds. And there's the reports. Durable goods ended up showing up at 0.9% gain. Stronger than expected at a 0.9% gain for durable goods month to month versus a negative 1.1% expected. Again, a 0.9% gain for durable goods versus a negative 1.1% expected. And the market honestly is up a little bit from this report. Core durable goods showed up at 0.7% gain versus 0.2% gain expected. So stronger than expected durable good orders here. We showed up at a positive versus a negative expectation here. I'll put this data up on screen now. Again, a positive versus a negative expectation here. Core as well. But yeah, there's the data here on screen. I'll put it up in big yellow letters. The market honestly is reacting to this. So a lot of people said the market wouldn't react. We reacted a little bit at least so far. There's durable goods. Hold on, let me get them down. There we go. There's durable goods on screen. It's not the biggest reaction though, but it's something. Let's see if the first move is the wrong move and we pivot. Yeah, but cuts are most relevant for tomorrow. Cuts in what way? Tomorrow we have GDP data. All right, so we originally reacted strong, but now it's the first move is the wrong move. We're going down on this report. I'm gonna short it. I know I'm trading a little bit more actively in pre-market, but again, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take one contract and get myself into that position where I can add to a winner here, if that makes sense, right? Like I'm trying to have it go enough in my favor to where I can add to a winner. The range is so freaking small here though, man. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit more here and try, but the range is so small. I'd like to see 450s down there. There we go. All right, we took half off there. There we go. We'll take the other half off there. Small little gain here, attacking this little micro range. Like you can kind of see, we break under here. We're attacking this range. But that's a situation where I can add to a winner. Like I take a small little trade. If it goes in my favor, I can add a little bit more with less risk. And look, here's the support level. So you can kind of see the range I'm attacking. We actually bounced right here at the support of 450. I got to size up a little bit, man. The levels I'm using give me confidence lately. I'm not bragging, but definitely top 3 levels ever on my charts. GameStop starting to head back up. It's almost back up to 29. It did dip under the 200 exponential. Look at that bounce at 450. So the range worked, but I got out when I should have. Very small size. I need to take an initial entry of 2 contracts now and then add another 2, I think, to get the sizing I want here. But yeah. I look like Peter Sutherland from Night Agent. Okay. That's cool. Do you think higher durable good orders could be because of company stockpiling? Yeah, I think that's possible. Durable good orders was terrible. This should wreck everything. It's all good, Kevin, but what are you talking about? Durable goods was stronger than expected. I mean, the only thing I can think of is maybe inflation fears are spiking up on higher durable goods. You know, durable goods is the change in the total value of orders for manufactured goods, including transportation items. Stronger is generally economic strength. Higher is economic strength. Lower is economic weakness. Higher reading is better for the dollar, meaning it's like a stronger economic metric. But yeah, it was stronger than expected. They expected negative. It was positive. I mean, it could mean inflation fears are here. That might be why the market's reacting negatively. There's 465. So look, we tapped at the top of this range as well. Good news is bad news. Market wants rate cuts. Yeah, for sure. I think the market fears inflation. So economic strength means inflation worries and less likelihood of rate cuts with economic resilience. I think that's true. Also, guys, if you haven't already checked out Topstep, this is what we're day trading on. There's no PDT rule in futures. And again, it took me a long time to pivot to futures trading. I should have done this a long time ago. No PDT in futures. I can basically day trade the SPY and Q price action in futures. No PDT rule. I can day trade the Nasdaq, which is the QQQ price action. I can day trade the ES, which is the S&P price action. No PDT rule. Patterns are very similar. It's very similar to day trading stocks. Topstep is the most legit one in the world, regardless of what anybody else says. Topstep's the most legit one in the world. They have some of the best rules in the game. They're one of the most legit, and they pay out millions of dollars. They give you a 50K demo for the base one. It's $49 a month. So it's a great way to learn how to day trade in the beginning, especially when most day traders lose thousands funding their own account. A lot cheaper. You pay $49 for the base one. If you can make 3K in profit on that 50K demo they give you without losing $2,000 first, following their rules, that's a reasonable 3-to-2 ratio. If you can do that, they fund you 50K with a 90% split. And before that, you get to keep your first 10K in profit afterwards anyway. And so very similar to funding your own account in that regard. 90% split, your first 10K in profit. But if you fail, you lose $50. It's not the end of the world. It's the best of both worlds. It teaches you how to trade. You're risking something. It's not the full extent of risking thousands and thousands of dollars like a lot of new traders end up doing and losing. And it just makes sense, right? And they've paid out almost $200 million. They fund thousands of traders. Their new dashboard makes a lot of sense. They bank resets and all kind of good stuff. They're kind of changing the game there. And so if you want to check them out, I'll put the link up in chat. A great way to help support the channel. There's no PDT in futures, but they're an affiliate of mine. Understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Not an investment professional. Yeah. Don't sue me, guys. Not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose. I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. Don't copy me. And so, yeah, we're in this range now. Yeah, if I take a look at Trueflation, we got the University of Michigan consumer confidence data on the 28th. We got GDP tomorrow. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, 1.8% Trueflation U.S. inflation index. PPI expected at 3.2%. PCE expected at 2.5%. So Trueflation has PCE, and again, PCE drops Friday. It's expected at 2.51% versus a year ago. It's expected at 2.81%. So year over year, what are they expecting it for PCE to show up as on Friday? Look at this bounce at 450s here. So PCE core is expected at 0.3%. 0.3% for core month to month. So they have less data on PCE. On Trueflation. The correction of Nasdaq was 40% chance of a recession calculated. I don't know. I don't know if it's that high. A lot of people think the current quarter we're in is going to be negative, but who knows, man? We don't freaking know. Yeah, so we'll know what this quarter looks like in terms of GDP at April GDP report. So we're still holding at that 450 level. Have you ever tried day trading the European market? What are European hours? I kind of know. I've known what they were before. What's the England Open futures? Yeah, it depends on the hours. Yeah, I mean, this guy obviously is just some type of weird hater. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it, you know. How's the euro market? Why do I see a lot of people buying Google instead of... One's Class A, one's Class C shares. So, one has voting rights, basically. So, if you ever wonder what's the difference between different classes of shares, one of them has voting rights. The other one doesn't. I think... I always get Google mixed up. So, yeah, GOOGL is Class A shares. GOOG is Class C shares. Yeah. It's alright, man. Like I said, I kind of feel for the guys. I really do. Like, if that's their life, they're creating fake accounts, you know. Let them live their life, I guess, if that's what they want to do. If they don't have anything else going on, you know. It's the same kind of people that cry because they don't accomplish anything. They're just mad, you know. Let it out. It's okay. I'm here. But I feel for them. I really do. Anyways, we're bouncing at 450s. Still in this tiny little range. Let's see if we can accomplish a green day today. So the chief of staff overseas in Ukraine to the president says relations with Washington are back on track. We could have toyed with them a bit first. It's no use in that. Hey, Pawn. So, Pawn, did you have to pay for that, or did it automatically give you that to gift? Like, did you have to pay for that, or did it automatically give you that to gift? I'm curious. So you can see the range on the chart. I paid for that one? Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate the love. Thank you, bro. All right, so GOOG is Class C shares, which have no voting rights. GOOGL, which is the 5 symbol one, is Class A shares that have voting rights. There's a few reasons it costs more. The first one is that it has index fund buying pressure. A lot of passive index funds, like the S&P 500, buy GOOG instead of GOOGL. Some indices limit exposure to voting shares to avoid giving power to passive investors. The result is higher demand for GOOG, which is Class C shares, versus Class A shares. GOOG sometimes has slightly higher volume and liquidity, which can attract more short-term traders or algos. It increases demand, can push the price a little bit higher than the Class A shares. There's also an arbitrage gap called the spread between GOOG and GOOGL. It's usually small. Traders often arbitrage the spread when it gets too wide, so over time prices stay close, but tiny supply and demand differences can cause GOOG to be more expensive. But yeah, so I hope that all makes sense. Basically, index inclusion is the biggest reason, which means that like indexes don't necessarily want voting rights to influence price action, and so they kind of buy the non-voting rights class of shares and exclude the Class A shares in that regard sometimes. All right, so we're popping back up on the range. Let's see if we actually hold. John Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall. Honestly, dude, we had Femi in here, which is apparently like an ex-NFL player, and I was talking with him about it, and he knows John Jones. So I don't really want John Jones to smoke, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to get attacked by John Jones. I don't think he's necessary. Okay, look. If I'm Jones, I might not want to fight Tom unless I'm getting paid. You know, and so I understand it. I can't really knock it, right? Like, I understand it. If I'm John, I don't really want to fight Tom unless I'm getting paid, and I get it, right? I think, again, I'll say it again. Jones is probably the GOAT. He's never lost, really, except for a 12-6 elbow, which is a ridiculous rule that they've since changed. He's never really lost an MMA fight. He's been very dominant. You know, yeah, there were a couple close decisions, but he's never been KO'd. He's never been knocked out. He's never been submitted. And the decisions he won were decisions. You can't really knock it. Don't let it go to the judge. And so I get it. Now, do I think Jones should lay down the belt? Yes. If he's not going to fight Tom and the UFC don't want to match whatever Jones wants, I think he's got to lay down the belt, and he should be doing it quickly because he's holding up the division at this point in time. But still, what do I freaking know? Yeah, all good, Ryan. No worries, bro. Yeah, and I see some people acting like they're just doing the opposite of what John does or whatever. But honestly, guys, I've been green in March. Like, I have had, look, let's calculate it. Here is this month in March. Let's talk about it. Yeah. This is my March, guys. Hold on, let me put this up. This is my March. And so we could act like I'm just the worst trader ever. I mean, I'm definitely top 3 worst ever of all time. But we've had 3 losing days out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green days. So out of 10 days of trading, we're running 70% accuracy. And we're green on the month. And so, you know, I know it sounds good. Like, oh, let's just do the opposite of what John does. But, you know, we're green in March. It's honestly been a pretty good month. The only thing I really need to do is scale up my size. And if I can do that, I'm happy. If I can scale up my size. Yeah, no, honestly, I don't mind proving this, though, because it's kind of credibility boosting. Like, we're actually green this month, and we've definitely made money a majority of the days. And so, feels good, man. Feels good. Pretty easy to show it, too. So, I mean, might as well show it. Foreman? Who's for? Oh, did he really? Did the boxer just die? Foreman? Yeah, definitely top 3-ish ever. Yeah, Dominic Reyes, man. I think that was a little bit closer. I think it's hard to say. I thought Dominic won, but you got to beat the champ. You got to really beat the champ, and so. Did he really, man? George Foreman? Rest in peace, dude. My aunt used to make me grilled cheese sandwiches on the George Foreman grill. Really smart guy, honestly, George Foreman. Rest in peace. Yeah, he passed away March 21st. Man, that's sad. I didn't even know. I didn't even hear it. All right, guys. Yeah. Yeah, the biggest thing I need to do is scale up my size. And I'm showing you guys my results because, I mean, I'm honestly kind of excited the system I'm using is working, but I have to scale up my size a little bit. Like, the sizing I'm using, it's good. I can make a little bit of money, but I need to... I either need to get used to taking at least, like, 4 to 5 micro contracts or just scale up to a full mini contract. And that's easier said than done. It's not as easy as it looks, so... I gotta just repeat it, condition myself through repetition to take the bigger size. I would say tell the chat to yell at me if I'm not doing it like I should, but still. Patty Pimlet's fun to watch. Although Patty Pimlet sticks his chin out in the air. So look, we hit this 480 level right here. I kind of want to buy the dip. You know what? I'll try. I'm a little late though, so I'm gonna try taking 4 contracts, even though it is after the it is before the ideal time for me to trade, which is in after hours, or which is during actual market hours. We got 2. We'll see if we can add down at 70. That's close enough. All right, so we'll stay here. Do you feel like GameStop will continue the 30s? I think it could, man. I think it's tapped 30, so it's gotten very close. But all right, so we took half off there. Didn't get the most profit from it though, but we got a little cushion here. I should probably add. I don't know whether I want to add size back here or not. I guess I can hold the rest break even. Yeah, I mean, GameStop got really close to 30. Got up to 29.92s. Didn't quite hit 30, though, to be honest. All right, so we took half off there. We can hold the rest. All right. Trade rate. The range works so far. We're basically flat on the day now. Let's see if we get over this 480 level now. We've tested it once. We might test it again. .99% of traders quit in 2 months. The 1% only keeps trading for 2 years. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think what hurts a lot of traders is the rigid conditions that you face to be profitable, right? And so what I mean by that is, like, I think what gets most traders is, in order to stay profitable, you have to do exactly the right things. And that, while certain people might be able to do that for a certain period of time, sometimes eventually they slip. And I think it's very difficult to maintain that rigidity to stay in profit for a long time. And I've always said it once, like, I'm not really knocking people that sell a course or a service. Like, do whatever you want to do. As long as you're not ripping people off, selling it for 5, 10, 15,000 on publicly available content, especially if you're not actually profitable, that's different. But sell a course if you want to make money. Like, everybody understands that trading is not guaranteed profits. And so even big money, smart money, even the best traders will sometimes diversify their income streams through selling other stuff, through sponsors, through affiliates. That's normal. And so I think people just have to understand you have to be very rigid with yourself when you're trading. Like, you got to be tight with how you do things. If you're not, if you slack off, if you take too much risk, you can destroy all the profit you've made on the year. And I think that's a hard standard to continue to do day in and day out. But certain people are able to do it better than others. But that's a hard standard. Yeah, I don't like UFC 5 as much. I really don't. Sorry. I'm drinking coffee, but it's not helping. The real good one was, what was it? It was like Undisputed 3. That was the real good one. That one was like a decade ago, though. But that one was honestly fun. They should get those creators. That one was still better than UFC 5, EA's version of it. EA's just cheap. You can tell EA's just making a game just to make a game. They're not actually doing it because they love the sport, or they know the sport really well, or they don't understand what people want. You know. There's so many factors to losing money. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Part of me wants to short this now. We kind of rejected under 480s, but I also think it's possible we retest this. Let's see if I regret not shorting this. GameStop all the way back down to 28s. Where was it before all this stuff? So it's kind of had a run leading into this report. All right, so UK's Chancellor Reeves says a couple quotes here over the last few minutes. Let's talk about it. All right, so she said, let me see, or he, let me see. I don't know the UK Chancellor. Okay, so it is a she, Rachel Reeves. So she said, wait, where'd it go? I got too many windows up. Bro, she has said too much here over the last 15 minutes. All right, so yeah, so she said the world is changing before our eyes. Now our task is to secure Britain's future. Global economy more uncertain. Fiscal rules are non-negotiable. OBR forecast showed 2029 to 30 current budget surplus of 4.1 billion versus October forecast of 9.9 billion surplus. ORB forecast, yeah, so OBR now expected real GDP growth of 1% this year. UK OBR says growth recovers to average around 1.75% over the rest of the decade. UK buffer against spending 9.9 billion. She says we're going to raise an extra 1 billion by tackling tax evasion. OBR estimate welfare cuts will be at 4.8 billion. Figure reflects adjustments to package. After extra spending on job support, welfare savings fall to 3.4. Where she said they're reforming welfare system, making it sustainable. They reaffirmed plans to raise defense spending and cut aid. Says high and volatile market expectations for bank rate and gilt yields continue to shape fiscal outlook. Current headroom is very small margin compared to the risks. So Venezuela tariff order is published in Federal Register as well. So again, we're still kind of sitting here at 480s. Looks like a little mini bull flag if you guys see it. Super micro. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm looking at the Truflation metrics as well. So we just tapped over 450s. So look, there's that rejection. I like this rejection now, though. Do I want to short it out? If we get a pop up, I'll short it. We need a little pop, though. Look at that red candle. I didn't get the pop. Man, I didn't get a bounce. I wanted one, but I didn't really get one. It's okay. Super micro? Where is super micro at right now anyway? We're at 40-30s, 40-30s. There's a little pop. I could have shorted that, but the 200 exponential is too close underneath me, so I'm not really going to mess with that here. What's up, Taker? Watch IV on contracts. At this point in time, this 480 to 485 level is big. The range is so small today, though. I'm wondering if like we're waiting for GDP tomorrow. GDP's data is, it's not. Oh, sorry. GDP's data is not the biggest release for GDP either. GDP, it's the final revision date. It's the final data for GDP last quarter, right? So GDP is lagging. So the GDP data we're getting is for last quarter. We're not going to get April's GDP estimate we're not going to get this current first year 2025 quarter estimate until late April is probably when we're going to get it, depending on when they schedule the GDP outlook for April. And again, a lot of people think this current quarter is negative. Do you guys think we're going to show up negative for the initial estimate for GDP in April? And that is, again, the April estimate is for the first quarter GDP for this current quarter that we're in, from January to March of this year. Dollar Tree executive says we'll look at targeting price increases on some products. Rivian has announced the spinoff of its micro mobility business into a new company called Also Inc. The new venture focused on small lightweight EVs has secured $105 million investment from Eclipse Ventures. I'm just an old-fashioned market guy. I don't know crap about day trading. Yeah. I'm an economics person. I like the economy data, you know. Top 3 worst day trader ever here. Apparently the chat thinks I'm one of the top 3 easily trolled traders out there. I don't know if it's that. I think I'm just responding to comments. And I think I probably respond to more comments than a normal streamer. And so, you know, I think a lot of people just tune out the comments. Maybe that's a good move. But I think you guys would be mad at me if I did. And I think sometimes, like, drama is like a magnet. It's like you want to talk about it, you know. I think people might tune in for it sometimes, too. So you make it fun. Negative? Yeah. Those are cat ears. I should have shorted, guys. Look, I told you guys I should have shorted. I wanted to short like right there. I thought this rejection being a triple top, like now we have a triple top right here. So the only worry I had was this 200 exponential moving average. Yeah, I'm definitely the most, you know, if I'm the top 3 most humble, who's the other 2? Yeah, thank you, Tiny. Tiny says it's nice that I engage with the chat. It proves you're listening. I try, you know, I try. We are? Yeah. Y'all are definitely humble in the chat. Most of you guys are, at least. So we did bounce at the 200 exponential. Honestly, we've been really rangy. I think today we're going to be mostly rangy. I don't think we're going to get much today. I think today's going to be kind of boring. We got GDP tomorrow, PCE Friday. We had durable goods today. Maybe that's good, but... yeah, there's the bounce at the 200 EMA. Look, here's the 200 EMA right here. We're flat on the day. We're down $2, so we're essentially flat. And again, the name of today is to try to scale up in size at the opening bell. System has been good. We've been making some money. Let's try to scale up in size today, guys. Most creators tell people to buy super chats and send cash apps. Bro, I don't even know if I have a cash app, dude. Dude, I could never beg anybody for money. I might beg for likes, but you know, every YouTuber wants somebody to like their stream, right? That's like normal engagement. Most of the time when people donate big amounts, I tell them they don't have to. You know, and anything I honestly make in donations is pretty small versus like what I make as a whole. So it's not really anything that, like, I appreciate it, don't get me wrong. I appreciate anybody that donates, but it's certainly not like a big part of my business is donations. Unnecessary. You know, don't really need it. Perfect market open chill spot right here. Hey, thank you, sir. I'm just here for the music. You're like the Matt Rife of trading YouTubers. Hey, I need to get that chin implant, bro. I don't know if I need a chin implant, but, you know. I don't want to turn out looking like, well, who's the High School Musical kid from Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates? 17 again guy. Who is he? Didn't he say he, like, slipped and fell? Now he looks like Max Payne. What's his name? Can you sing for us? You gotta pay more for that. You don't want to hear me sing. Market would go down. Genuinely. Market's ripping back up, though. Look at this. So, we're testing that 485 level again. Yeah, there you go. There's Femi. Yeah, we were talking about John Jones earlier. I'm surprised you didn't pop out. Yeah, man. Zac Efron. He tripped and fell. Now his chin looks like freaking Arnold. I don't know if I believe him. If it did happen, I really feel for him. I really do. Don't get me wrong, but... I would short too if I heard myself sing. Super chat's on. You can super chat right now, but you don't need to. Yeah, and to be fair, John Jones seems like a really nice guy. He really does. He seems like a really good dude, really nice guy. You just don't want to be his opponent when you're fighting him. Because then he's kind of, you know, he's competitive. I get it. By puts on John singing. It's never happening. You know, the only time I sing is like ADHD stimming. That's the only time I sing. My family, trust me, my family's heard me sing, but it's most of the time. It's most of the time when I'm preparing food, and it's just about whatever food I'm preparing. But it's more of like a ironic song. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. But all right, guys, we have been in this choppy range for 30 minutes now. This is the range of the last 30 minutes. It's not really doing much. Liquidity grab here, broke this high, came back down. Now we're testing the 200 EMA. I guess I want to short, but again, I don't know if I trust it enough. I think I'm just going to wait. Yeah, it's basically a variation of that. My daughter has one that she makes fun of me all the time. It's a Brownie Night song. I'm not going to sing it, but there's also a Lord of the Rings song that when we were watching Lord of the Rings, you know, John Jones versus Aspinall, man, I really do think there's a good chance Jones wins that. But I don't think it's 80-20. I think it's more like 60-40. And I think Tom certainly has a chance just because I think Jones is not going to be able to wrestle him like he has his other opponents. Aspinall's big. He's strong. Probably stronger than Jones. Same size as Jones. The wrestling's going to come a lot harder. And so he's going to have to stand with Tom Aspinall, and I think that's a risky thing for anybody. And I think he understands. And Jones is older, man. He's old. As a fellow old man, I get it. You know. I watch because you keep it real. I try. All right, we'll see if the market moves. Yeah, I mean, I see somebody talking about stock market and the economy. They're related to each other, don't get me wrong. The VIX, GDP, all this stuff is related in some ways. And they're indirectly or sometimes directly influenced by the other. But they can also go the other way, right? So the example I always bring up is in 2022, inflation was high. The economy was in a bad spot. People were fearful. The Fed was restrictive and trying to push everything down. And the stock market had one of the craziest runs leading up to that. And so I think the AI boom happened while we also had weak economics. So just because we have a weak economy doesn't mean we have a weak stock market, and vice versa, although they do influence others. I'm trying to think, though, like, restrictive Fed means the economy was strong to begin with, but I think the inflation that we got following 2020 was from supply chain restraints and too much economic stimulus to save us from a weak economy. And during that period of time, like the last 3-4 years, the market's run a lot. The market's rallied a lot. The AI boom happened. And so even though the economy has been kind of sketchy and weak in some areas over the last 5 years, the market has run big in 5 years. And so it's not always a one-to-one correlation where they follow each other in a parallel way. The market can run and the economy can be weak simultaneously. You know, it doesn't always necessarily have to follow the other, although they're obviously related, but they're two different animals. You know? Yeah, Bitcoin, I mean, just consolidating in the 80s, which is good. If it could hold up to 87s, 88s, 90s, I think that's good. All right, guys, 15 minutes. Small cats have sucked. I haven't traded penny stocks in a long time. I really haven't, man. They, like, even if we're talking about, like, Mag 7 blue chips and not futures. I typically day trade futures, but I could wait for Microsoft, AMD, Apple, you know, Google, Walmart, Target. I can wait for them to pull back 10, 20%. Buy those pullbacks. And if I'm wrong, I can just sit on it for 5 years and I'm going to be green on it. You know, penny stocks is kind of the opposite dynamic where you sit on a penny stock for 5 years, it's going to zero most likely, or at least getting delisted, going to pink sheets, you know, going bankrupt. A lot of bad stuff happens in 5 years to penny stocks. If you handpick 5 random penny stocks, most of them are going to be down big relative to where you bought them in 5 years. If you handpick 10 blue chip Mag 7 stocks, almost all of them are going to be green in 5 years, most likely, at least 10 years especially. And so I think that's a big edge that a lot of people miss out on in penny stocks. And they get kind of talked into investing and buying penny stocks from like gurus that sell courses that have an incentive to make you think that trading penny stocks is somehow some super profitable endeavor, or that you can somehow have some big statistical edge buying up penny stocks. I just don't think there's much of one. I think there's a lot of nonsense. Like, every penny stock acts like it's the next Apple, and a large majority of them fail. And so doing your due diligence is not as easy as that. And I think a lot of traders who maybe don't have as big of a bankroll to trade with get kind of wrapped up in it, and they lose thousands or more getting stuck in them. Yeah, Dollar Tree, was it Dollar Tree or Dollar General that recently did their sale? It was one of them. I posted about it this morning. Okay, yeah, so Dollar Tree is selling Family Dollar for $1 billion. Stock is down now. It sold it for $1 billion to 2 private equity firms. So DLTR is down on that news. I think it's time. Honestly, I think it's smart. Unload that. I don't think Dollar Tree or Dollar General is really going to have any significant future over the next 20 years. I don't think anybody goes to a dollar store or a Dollar Tree. Not unless you're in a very small country town and there's not many stores around you and it's the only option, basically. Then you might go there. But outside of that, if there's a Walmart close, if there's a bunch of stuff, most people are not going to go there. And I just don't think they're good investments over the next 10 or 20 years. I think most of them are going to fail. And I think the dollar store concept in general is a bad concept right now, especially with Amazon. I think Dollar Tree has been downtrending since 2022. It's down 60% since 2022. Yeah, and I've been saying this for years too. I just don't think it's a good industry anymore. Yeah, in the South they have them, and again, I've seen them. I've been to Michigan and seen them as well. The only places that are still going to use Dollar Tree are small towns that do not have Amazon warehouses nearby, so it takes them a long time to get products shipped to them. And so they need that one aspect of it. The other aspect is that they need to have no other stores in their general area. And so unless the location is just too convenient to ignore, dollar stores are unnecessary, you know. And my grandmother, I'm from Louisiana, so I called her my Mimi, is what we called grandmothers in Louisiana. She used to bring me to dollar stores all the time. And so I have like a nostalgic look at dollar stores. But the investor in me makes it a hard buy because I just don't think, I think mail order shipping is going to render most of them obsolete, except for a few small good locations, but it's not enough to justify the business. I mean, I'm not disconnected. You go to dollar stores, are products $1 anymore? No, you go there, they're like $10 or $15. Big Lots went out of business, went bankrupt. You know, it's not like they actually sell things for $1 in these stores anymore. I just don't think. I mean, look, they've been downtrending for years. If y'all want to buy them, buy them. I just don't. I don't like it. Yeah, location definitely matters. Again, I think there's going to be some that are good, but I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't freaking know, man. Do I want to invest in them? No, I don't. They just don't seem like they got a big future. But again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, again, I can certainly admit that I don't know everything about dollar stores and their business. So, dollar stores are valuable during extreme economic down runs. I don't know, man. I think people are going to start buying stuff off of Amazon. Cheaper products off of Amazon now, though. No? All right, so we're bouncing back down here. Let's see if we bounce at 450s. Yeah, I'm mad I didn't take my short. I wanted to short it up there. I said I might FOMO up here, but didn't do it. I'm waiting for the open. I know my edge is after the market opens. $100 stores? Sounds like a business endeavor, Joker. When are you starting that business, bro? Called the Joker's $100 store. They've got like caviar there. That's your idea, bro. Jump on that, man. I buy random stuff for parties, barbecues. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, Temu, Alibaba, 100%. Wholesale. I think that's going to eat Dollar Tree's business. Party City failed too. I remember people saying the same thing about Party City, man. It was PRTY stock. It's still a stock too, by the way. I remember people arguing with me in the same freaking way about Party City because I had the same thesis, the same argument. People don't buy party goods at party stores anymore. Look at Party. Look at wait, what is it? Yeah, PRTY. It went out of business in 2022. Very similar trends as well. Like, look, this looks just like Dollar Tree. Like, look, let's put Dollar Tree up. Put a weekly chart up. Tell me that doesn't look the same. They went bankrupt in 2022. Party City did. Again, y'all can buy them. Do your thing. I don't know. Maybe this buyout's good. Maybe the people buying them are good. I think mail order shipping makes it risky. But maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't freaking know. I have to agree. I haven't been in a dollar store 10 years. Last one I went to was Big Lots, and they filed for bankruptcy. Market's still flushing down here. Broke under this big low at 450s. I'm looking at 420s as another support level. Why not dollar stores go into pharmacy market? Well, because one thing pharmacies are cheap. What pharmacies, what prescriptions are you going to get for $1 or anywhere close to that? Insurance wants too much money. You know, they're not about to give you that type of value. All right, guys. Hey, we got 6 minutes. Do you trade 0 day till expiry options? No. No, I don't. John is secretly a billionaire? Nah, bro. If I was a billionaire, the size I would be taking would be ridiculous. I'd be taking the craziest, biggest size in the world. I'd have like 100 million account and I would just be throwing money. There would be signs. Definitely not a billionaire. I don't really trade options, Hippo. Yeah, billionaire trading 1 micro. No. Yeah. You think I could be the real inventor of Bitcoin? That's definitely not true. All right, guys. Hey, we got 4 minutes, three and a half minutes, really. John, didn't you used to start your live stream at 5 a.m.? I don't think I ever started at 5 a.m. market time. I might have started at 6 o'clock market time. 5 a.m. market time is too boring. There's not enough going on. And I pushed it back a little bit. And honestly, my views have gotten much better since I pushed it back, right? Like my normal streams, like today where we don't have anything going on. Like today we almost had 1,000 people during 8:30's data release for just a normal stream. That's much more than we used to get, right? And then my big streams will get like 3, 4, 5, 6,000 people during the data releases. So like big streams will get like 3, 4, 5, 6,000 concurrent viewers. Normal streams like today we get like 1,000, which is kind of how it goes because we get more interest during big economic events. And so when nothing's really going on like today, we get less. Next week will be chaos though. But yeah, pushing it back. I just started it too early, and honestly, the net effect of my sleep, I can get as much sleep as if I want it. If I wake up at 4 a.m. Central, I'm feeling rough by noon, right? Doesn't matter how much sleep I can get. I can fall asleep at 6 o'clock. If I get up at 4 a.m., I'm feeling more delirious than I would now if I get up at 4:30. At my jiu-jitsu gym, there's a class at 5 a.m. I've gone to it one time. I can't freaking do it. I just can't. It's too early. I got to get up at 4:20, 4:30. It's just too early. Yeah, I mean, I don't do options. I don't have anything against them, though. But, like, usually I just buy shares or futures. All right, guys, here we go. We got a minute and a half. All right, you guys ready? GameStop back up to 29. Look at GameStop. GameStop coming back. There's the NQ. The SPY up, put Nvidia up. All right, guys, 1 minute. I don't know, Mr. Scruff. I don't remember, man. To be honest, that's so long ago. I really don't remember what time I got up. I know it's too early, though. Whatever time it was. Yeah, I stopped covering it. I didn't even cover GameStop earnings yesterday. There's just not enough interest. The problem is that the big squeeze events have been diluted. So where like even Roy and Kitty, he's posted too much. He doesn't have the influence he used to have on GameStop's price. Less sympathy movement overall. There's just less action from it. All right, guys, here we go. We got 20 seconds. All right, here's the bell right here. All right, so there's the open. Market's still pretty red. GameStop pumping up, though. It's at 29s. There's the opening bell. GameStop turning down at 28s. Looking kind of weak now. All right, so we got this 450 level I'm watching here. I'm watching Nvidia. Chewy's down. GameStop's back up. Palantir is running up to 97s. Apple and a couple other tech stocks have decreased over the last few minutes, though. Tesla's down. Meta's rebounding back up some. Quantum stocks are ripping up this morning too. IO and Q's up to almost 28s. So quantum stocks are running right now. Meta just turned. All right, we're 3 minutes into the day. So we're buying 420 here. I'm taking small size. I want to see if we pop right here, but a little risky. It's going a little bit too quickly. We cut one. Now we kind of retraced all the way back up. I'm going to cut this here too. So we lost small. We're still pretty flat on the day. That's a big red candle, so I just don't want to get stuck in a larger bank. Nvidia is still falling too. So Nvidia has a big red candle. We're at 117.50s. 117.50s for Nvidia. Still falling pretty deep here. We might try to do the same thing at 4s, but I'm seeing a lot of stuff turn, to be honest. So Nvidia did retrace back up though. Look at Nvidia retracing quick. Again, what I'm trying to do today is take larger size. I gotta wait for a trend to play out first. GameStop fell all the way down to under 28s. Tesla 280s. I guess I'm gonna try to short this, but see if we can. We'll add to it if we get in the green, but if not, we'll keep it small. I should have gone with the original long, but it depends on what Nvidia does here. Yeah, we gotta cut it. I'm gonna switch out of this account. I don't want to give too much back, so we're gonna switch to our separate account and play with this one. I do this so I don't want to take too many big losses on like one account. We'll give it time now. We tapped off a 465. So here's the 200 EMA. Depends on what Nvidia does. Nvidia is right at that VWAP level. We'll try to maybe buy this dip with one contract. Let's see if we can add to it, but I'm gonna reduce size here, and it looks like that was the right move. We got out basically flat right there too. But I'm gonna go with buying one contract and then adding to it if I get into the green with it instead of risking too much. I don't want to get stuck really breaking down here, so we'll cut it and then be basically flat here. I should have gone with the VWAP fade on Nvidia. Yeah, no, I'm gonna trade small with that type of stuff. Let me see which one this is. Okay. Oh, I also have my new dashboard up. So I do have my new dashboard. Yeah, market's going green. I'm getting faked out both directions, really. Whoa, some type of bad news maybe just came out. Y'all be careful. Let me see. Look at that candle. Look at that retracement. Y'all see any news? I'm trying to figure out what it is. Let's see if there's any news. That was a big weird candle, but we look like we're pumping up. Let's see what Nvidia does here. Was there a big tweet? Look at this downward pressure showing up. Weak. Look at this red action. Wow. Yeah, a lot of flat action though, man. I'm trying to find trades, but it's very kind of neutral. Boring. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that big red candle yet. I'm still just kind of watching it. So we got a trade here I'll put up just to show you guys. We got one contract left. We're gonna add to this here. Take a little bit off. We just went green on the day in this account that we were trading on earlier. I just kind of wanted to trade it in the background. Mostly shorting the fade off the 200 exponential. Once I saw Nvidia do this double top here, I kind of shorted it, but did they really? Let me see. Nvidia started a test. Yeah, I'm just trading really small here. I'm gonna short this pop. We're up a very small amount on the day, but again, what I've been trying to do today is take a couple contracts And then if it goes in my favor, we add to it. But we're gonna see if we get the range down here to 420s. We got 2. And then if it doesn't, it's a small loss and we're basically flat on the day. I want to give it time though. I like 420s, 4s. But Nvidia's got to keep breaking down, which it kind of looks like it is, but we'll give it time. There we go. Not quite 420s, but we'll take it. We made about $40 on that trade. Didn't quite get down there, but it looks like covering early made sense because we retraced back up. Nvidia broke lows and then retraced right back up, so. I'm going to short this level, small little level here, and then add to it if we're right, which we kind of are so far. See if we hold down. There we go. Gonna go ahead and get out there. All right, made another $40 or so. We're up about 100 on this account on the day. Attacking this resistance level at 450, and we rejected right off of that level, so that made sense. Gonna wait now. We're kind of confirming a lot of choppiness right now as we do this though. Is this gambling? I mean, it depends on what you classify as gambling. So we headed right back down to that 420 level that we got right here. Very small range, guys. Very boring. Here's the range. I mean, it's light. Yeah, look at Nvidia. So Nvidia's fall is what's dragging the market down. Yeah, I had 420 on Topstep TV yesterday as my over-under. And we tapped that 400 level. Part of me wants to short to see if we retest it, but I'm just gonna wait. I don't know, actually, I'm rethinking about it. I think it moves down here to retest 4s. It depends on, we need that weakness from Nvidia though. There it goes. Here comes the retest of 4s. Got down to 405s. Yeah, there's the retest of 4s. 4s is right here. There's the retest. Bounced right off of 4s. Yep. Should have taken it, but I don't really have FOMO. It's okay. Honestly, it looks like we're going to break this. There it goes. Just tapped it, broke it. And then it might, yeah, I was going to say it might liquidity grab, but yeah, I mean, it depends on what you classify as gambling. I mean, if your definition is risking money, a lot of things are gambling. Buying a house is a gamble. If your definition is with unfavorable odds, then it depends on the person and the trader. All right, next level I have is 370s. Yeah, we got Kashkari speaking at 10. Where is he speaking? Let me see. Also, guys, if you haven't already checked out Topstep, again, I'm up about 100 on Topstep on the day. You can kind of see this is Topstep X, their native platform. Really useful. I can draw my levels, and you know, that's what I base my trades around today. So here's the P&L today. Kind of a varied day, but we didn't do that bad. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses, 15 wins and 5 losses over the day. So not too bad. That is 75% accuracy, so we will take that. Again, if you want to check it out, no PDT in futures. Most pro day traders should be trading futures. There's no PDT rule. You can day trade the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, the Nasdaq. You can trade the SPY and Q price action in the E-mini and the NQ. S&P E-mini and the NQ E-mini. Same price action, very similar to day trading stocks. No PDT rule, and Topstep's the most legit in the world, regardless of what anybody says. They give you a 50K demo. If you can make 3K without losing 2K, a 3-to-2 ratio, they fund you 50K with a 90% split as long as you can follow their rules. Taking this challenge teaches you how to trade under pressure. It teaches you how to follow rules. It makes you a better trader, in my opinion, although it's a little subjective. But it's genuinely good for traders, in my opinion. Your risk is noticeably less than funding thousands in your own account and losing that, like most new traders end up doing. But if you pass it, you get a 50K funded account with a 90% split for their base win, which is very similar to funding your own account 90%. You also get to keep your first 10K prior to that anyway, after you're funded. So it makes sense. They've paid out almost $200 million, been around for almost 12 years, and they're doing it right. And so again, if you want to check it out, they're an affiliate of mine. I am biased, of course, because I get paid, but just genuinely useful. If you want to check it out, here's the link. Great way to help support the channel. There's the link in chat right there. What you see me basically day trading today is day trading the NQ, which is the QQQ price action of what follows the Q. Yeah, I'm looking at 370. Could be 375 too. You might be able to call it that, but I'm looking at 370 as a level. Here it comes. 375 is right here though, just to put it into perspective. So it might bounce at 375 too. Sometimes the market moves in like quarter increments. But here's 370. Like, look. Oof, just dumped underneath it. Market's looking weak. This is Nvidia's falling here, chat. This is Nvidia falling down. Wow. How you doing? it. All right, guys. Palantir breaking down today with everything else. Microchips and AI stocks are seeing a decrease. Here's 370, so we bounced a little bit. Like, you can either look at the low of the full candle here, or you can look at the body low right here. I think body lows make sense too. But yeah, I think I'm gonna get out of here, guys. It's been a kind of a slower week. We haven't had any economic reports or much going on this week, so it's been a little bit slower. And we're green, you know. Again, I'll show you guys the profit of the week so far before we hang it up. And again, I'm showing you my Topstep X stats. Here's one account, just to put it into perspective. Here's one account. Over the last week, we are 3 out of 4 green days in one account. We're actually green on all these funded accounts. Here's another one. Again, I think I showed this one a little bit earlier for the month of March. And we're down small on this one today, but we'll see if we can make this one up. So we'll see if we can beat that little guy today, but we'll see how that goes. And then the other one, I don't think I've traded on much at all. Let me see, hold on. Oh, the other one we're actually not doing bad too. I've had a couple losing days, but here's the other one. So we've had 6 trading days, 4. So honestly, March has been pretty good. So I was trying to tell people, look, we're doing pretty good trading in March. We're not really losing a lot. And so yeah, we're doing pretty good. Honestly, we're green on every account that we have. Pretty good accuracy so far. Slow, steady profits. So again, if you want to trade with me on Topstep, again, I'll put the link up one more time. Good way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose. So you can try this out first. If you fail, it's not the end of the world. Teaches you how to trade, teaches you structure, teaches you how to follow rules. If you lose, you're still risking something, but it's not the end of the world. But man, market's dumping down here, guys, dumping down. But yeah, there's the link in chat right there. I love you all. You'll have a great day. Top 3 worst trader of all time. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good.